Yo, what is up, gamers and meritards, marathoners, fucking runners, people of, well, maybe, hold up, maybe not that one. All right, moving on. Um, marathon, things are looking a little dark. All right, let's just be real. Let's be honest. Things are looking dark, but I do still love the game. I am still playing it almost every day. I'm still enjoying it. But ooh, I honestly I don't know if we're going past season 5 at this point. I hope so, but I don't know if we're going past season 5. So anyway, here's some things. I was having some thoughts. I was being the thinker the other day, and I was pondering on what I think that Bungie could do, some feasible stuff that I think they could do in seasons like 3, 4, maybe 5 to increase the player base, to excite people, and to bring players back, get new players in, etc. So these are just sort of off the cuff ideas. Also, this video is insanely off the cuff. I'm basically making all this up off the top of my head. Normally, I write scripts for my videos, but I recorded a video earlier. It got deleted. It corrupted. So screw it. We're doing it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Anyway, here we go. Number 1. General polish, bugs, better performance. Dude, okay, let's level with it here. It feels like every single week I log on to this damn game, something has gone wrong. Like something is messed up at some point. It was the solo queue most recently. Yesterday, I tried to log in and go into Cryo Archive, and it just wouldn't let me put anything into my like character, my runner. It would not let me put anything on my runner. And it was just bugged, so I just had to go into a run completely naked, die, and then it let me put stuff on my runner. Anyway, there's just always something going on that I feel like makes the game just annoying. Like it feels like you have to like work around the game because of how unstable it is all the time. And I feel like this really killed the player count with season 2. Just like season 2 has been just such a frustrating experience because of how much they've dropped the ball with not only bugs and glitches, but like general just balancing. Like they don't really know what they're doing. They're kind of just throwing stuff at the wall, not really thinking about it, and just being like, we'll figure it out later. Which I get at this point. We're kind of in emergency mode for the game. We're kind of at a point where we just got to throw stuff at a wall. But I think putting some thought into what you're doing before you do it makes sense. Like the Cradle nerfs. They nerfed the XP for Cradle. And then they're like, oh, actually, that was a mistake. We're going to not nerf it. We're going to unnerf the Cradle XP nerf. And it's like, dude, just make up your mind. What are we doing? Performance has been awful, too. Like, on my PC, I have a good PC. I have a genuinely pretty good PC. And whenever the game first launched, Season 1, I was getting, like, really good frames. I was getting consistent frames. It would never drop. It would never have noticeable drops. But then ever since like season 1.5 or like halfway through season 1, it just performance tanked completely. And now anytime I walk outside in any of the maps, I just get slammed with like a very noticeable frame drop. So I don't know what happened there, but apparently for season 2, they said that they made it better. I don't think they really did because it's still in the same spots. The same spots are where I get horrible frame drops. And it's not like, I don't think this should be a very taxing, hard game to run. It doesn't look like ultra high fidelity necessarily. Next up, let's move on. Number 2, better onboarding. So this is one that I've actually heard a lot of people say that I didn't think was very important until I looked back at my history with this game. And I'm like, yeah, actually that is pretty important because I wanted a refund on this game. After the first like 2 hours, I tried to get a refund and I got denied. And it was because of just how bad the onboarding is. I'm just getting a sip of coffee. My bad. Good morning, boys. But yeah, no, the onboarding, I don't really necessarily know how to fix it. I've heard some good ideas, but you know, that mixed with the UI, my brother-in-law played the game for the first time with me, and whenever he first got into the game, he did the little tutorial, and then after that, it was just he throws you into menus, just menu after menu after menu, and it has these little pop-ups that you're supposed to read. Like you read all of the pop-ups that just constantly lock you into it until you click OK, and it's just so annoying. Also, the first map it throws you on is Perimeter. Everybody knows Perimeter. Well, there are some people that like it, but dude, it objectively is the worst map in the game. It shouldn't even have been in the game. I think Perimeter should have been scrapped years ago. That map is so awful. And that being the first map that players experience, that being like the first map that players are stuck to for the first couple hours, is just not a good experience. It's not fun. It's a very meandering map. It's very empty. It's very dead looking. It's very like, it's always raining too. Why is it always raining, dude? And they just need to, I don't know, maybe this is asking a lot, but maybe make like a new exciting map for, new runners. Maybe the new map that they make season 3, season 4 could be like a starter, quote unquote, a starter map. Maybe not with loot, but like in terms of anybody can play it at that point. And at any point in the game, anybody can play it. You can always play Perimeter. You can always play whatever new map this is as well. I also had the idea of maybe like in the opening tutorial, you can give the player a purple weapon immediately on, or like a purple shield or a purple backpack or something like that. And they can like use it, like something cool that they are like, oh man, this is really awesome that I'm getting this item. And they can use it for their first couple runs until they lose it. And then they can kind of feel what it feels like to find like a really cool item, and what it feels like to lose it, and what it feels like to be like, all right, we got to get this back. Like I got to find another one. And you could also make that item be like compromised, like completely compromised from other people taking it as well, so that it doesn't just like flood, the initial player base with tons of purples. So yeah, they really need to make this like more friendly for new players, because for everybody that I've played with, for everybody that I've convinced to play this game with me, the first 3 hours are such a slog and such a just like meandering, weird feeling thing that I think they just need to figure that out. All right, next up is a PvE mode, and not necessarily just an empty lobby, but like an actual thought out PvE mode. And we are getting Vault Breaker. I do think that is a very cool concept for a PvE mode. I don't think that the answer is just doing like empty lobbies for PvE, where just like you just load into an empty lobby. I think that's really boring. I think that that's very lame. I don't know. They did that sort of with the survival playlist, and I did it because it was really easy to get loot, but it was very boring. So just some sort of like well thought out PvE mode. I really do think that the game should have launched with a campaign, and I know we're kind of past that point, and I know that it would probably be like another $50 to $100 million to make a full campaign for this game, but I think that that's really, really what it needs. I think it needs a campaign with cutscenes, with story, with a variety of enemies, a variety of locations and sceneries. We might be kind of past that, but that might be a crapshoot. I don't know, man. I think that the game cost $250 million. What the hell were y'all doing with that money? There's 4 maps. There's 4 goddamn maps. Two of them are awful. Well, one of them is awful. The other one is meh. The other one's a meh. 2 of them are fantastic. Number 4, a new map. Yes, I know. I understand. It's like very obvious, but we need new maps, dude. We need new maps. I cannot keep just slamming Outpost over and over again, just waiting for Cryo to open up. Right now, it really does feel like at the point that I'm at, there reaches a certain point where players completely just ignore Perimeter for the most part. The loot is not good enough. Just the vibe isn't there. Like I genuinely, I can't remember the last time I loaded into Perimeter of my own volition, just because I wanted to play Perimeter. It's been forever. And kind of same with Dire Marsh. Like I don't care about Dire Marsh. I don't care to load into Dire Marsh ever. Night Marsh kind of fixed things a little bit, But I think a new map with I think that these sort of the loop that I think Marathon could capitalize on is having every extraction map have some sort of unified goal that every team wants to do this goal that pushes you to have like a motive in the map. I think a lot of extraction shooters, one mistake that kind of doesn't really grip people is that a lot of times it feels like you load into a map and you kind of just don't know what to do. There's no goal. You kind of just run around aimlessly sometimes. Maybe you do a mission and then you get out. But I feel like Outpost and Cryo Archive do such a great job of giving every player that loads in there a goal. You know, obviously the goal is to get into Pinwheel. Obviously the goal in Cryo is to get into the vaults. So I feel like they need to play on that a bit more. And in this new map, they need to have some sort of goal, some sort of loop that's addictive for the map, as well as other things about the map. So I think the environment needs to be different. I think there needs to be some sort of new environment. I really feel like a lot of the maps are kind of samey. They kind of feel like I'm not really exploring Tau Ceti. Like I haven't really seen a lot of Tau Ceti. Two of the maps are kind of just like, well, one of the maps is kind of like a forest. The other map is kind of like another forest. And then you have Outpost, which is like a military place. And then I think Cryo is the only map that's like truly unique and like truly has like a vibe to it. Anyway, as far as like ideas that I have for one, there was one video I watched of this guy who was going through the what's it called, the Codex, and apparently there's an underwater base somewhere called like Atlas or something on Tau Ceti, and he said it felt like they were teasing that at some point they're gonna make a map called like Atlas that is some sort of underwater base. I think that would be awesome, dude. I think that'd be a great idea for a map. Just new, exciting maps. I want every map that comes out to be this exciting, cool concept, and I want it to look different and feel different and just be different. Next up, these next two kind of go hand in hand. 5 and 6 is a social hub and some sort of way to encourage socializing rather than just all-out battles. Because right now, it really is just like, if you see someone, you're gonna kill them. No matter what. There's no talking. There's no like bartering. And it's like, why would you? I don't blame him. I'm not out here saying like everybody's a bad person. I'm the same way. I kill everybody in all my games. Sometimes I leave rooks. If rooks talk to me, I'll make them dance for me. But other than that, for the most part, it's kill on sight. It is, these are my ops. We're gonna blast them down, dude. And they tried it with the carry system to encourage friendliness, and then they gave like the mercy kits. But I really feel like there needs to be a social hub with, you know, you could have the vendors there, like in real, like you actually see the vendors there. You can interact with other players. You can show off skins. You can show off, you know, gun skins. You can like whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I think a social hub would really bring in the community aspect of Marathon. Because right now, the community aspect of Marathon does feel it feels very disjointed whenever you're playing the game. It feels very like, I don't know, there feels like there's no way to interact with other players. It feels like you go into maybe crew fill, and then that's it. Those two guys that you find in your crew fill are the two guys that you're interacting with, and nobody outside of that interacts. Unlike with Destiny, you know, you have the raids that you can do with 5 other players. You've got you got Crucible. You've got obviously the tower. Like the tower isn't necessarily some place that's like a fun place to be. Like it's not like you're there doing playing the game or anything. You're just sort of walking around and interacting with other people. And I feel like something like that could be amazing for this game, and amazing for the social aspect of it, and also amazing for the friendliness aspect of it. I don't know how they could encourage friendliness in the actual extraction mode, but I don't know. Find a way. Next up is number 8. This is one that actually sort of bothered me upon initially playing the game, which is a variety of enemies. I feel like fighting nothing but UASC is a little bit boring. I definitely, whenever they showed off the game, I assumed that there would be some sort of enemies or some sort of aliens that you fought as well. Some different races of like Svet, some different like sections, factors of enemies. Like in Halo, there's a variety of enemies throughout the Halo games that you're fighting. And even beyond that, the enemies in the same factions are so varied. Versus the UESC is kind of just a bunch of robots. And fighting a bunch of robots, like everybody wants a PvE mode, but I feel like PvE won't be fun unless we have variety of enemies to fight. So I don't know, maybe have like some other faction of aliens that come in. I know that they recently added the zombie dudes. That was cool. You know, stuff like that. I feel like having variety of enemies would make the game a lot more fun and would add a lot more value to any sort of PvE mode that you could add later on. All right, the next one is what I think is probably the most important one that they could add. I think that if they add this one, it could bring in a lot of players and it could genuinely kind of turn the tide of the game. I think so. I also think it's the easiest one that they could add into the game right now. They could literally probably just like do it in the next week. I don't know how game development works. I'm an idiot, but it feels like this shouldn't be too hard to add into the game. And it's kind of 2-in-1. It's arena PvP mode, some sort of just 5v5, 6v6, something like that just takes place on the currently made maps. You can just like cut out little sections of the current maps and add some sort of arena PvP mode and make that free to play. All right, hear me out. First off, the hardest thing about extraction shooters, the reason they're so hard is because it's so hard to get good at shooting people in extraction shooters, because it happens so randomly, it happens so sparsely, or not sparsely, but it happens like in very random occasions. It's not like you can like necessarily practice PvP in an extraction shooter, because maybe sometimes a team just pulls up behind you and instantly slimes you and your team out. Sometimes it happens to you where you just pull up behind a team and you instantly just cook them. So I feel like having an arena where it's like a safe spot where players can just practice shooting other players. They can practice, they can warm up, they can get good at the combat, they can get good with their runners' abilities. It would be incredible. And I also think that it's like a low stakes place where you can't lose your loot. You can go in, you can die as many times as you want. I think it's a no-brainer. And I feel like it wouldn't be too hard either, because you already have the maps. Like the maps don't have to be perfectly balanced for multiplayer. You can just cut out pieces of the already done maps, and you can put the players in there, put 5 players in, 5v5, and just let them run around and fight and learn how to fight and learn how to shoot. And you can make it free. And you can have maybe like some sort of progression tied to that where you get certain rewards at certain points for the extraction mode. I feel like this would be invaluable. I feel like this is something that 100% should have been launched with the game as well. I also feel like having it be like some sort of elimination mode similar to like Counter-Strike or Valorant would be good, because I feel like the natural combat in Marathon is very tense and very kind of like slower. It kind of feels a bit more slower, a bit more methodical. So I feel like having some sort of like elimination arena mode would be perfect. I feel like this is a perfect game for that. And also having it be free to play, you can like introduce more people into the game and show them how good the shooting is, how good the movement feels, how cool the characters are and their abilities. And it's free to entry. So why not? So those are my ideas that I have right now. I don't know. We'll see. Some of these are a bit more realistic than others, but I really do feel like that arena PvP mode being free to play would change a lot of people's mind. I think it would bring a bunch of players in. Anyway, this one was off the cuff. Sorry if it was kind of just like all over the place. I literally just wrote down a list of the things that I wanted and I just riffed off of all of them. So yeah, anyway, if you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe. I appreciate it a lot. Gracias.